is an exclusive presentation of Jefferson Pilot Sports.
We're launching into the spring of '96 as American athletes get beamed up to new heights, awaiting those final bar exams and a ticket to the summer games. Who's moving ahead in the race to Atlanta? Sometimes it's raw power and determination that matters most when the competition heats up. But style and finesse points add up too. Just staying above water is a feat in itself when you're trying to emerge among the elite. We'll look it over next on The Road. Kodak presents The Road to U.S. Olympic Gold. Welcome back to our Olympic headquarters. Glad you're with us. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, joined as always by our own Mary Lou Retton. Hello, Mary Lou.
Hi, Pat.
That'd make a song, wouldn't it? Hello, Mary Lou. In this latest journey down the road, we packaged an incredible variety of required viewing for Olympics aficionados.
And a little later, we'll bring in our Olympic historian, Bill Mallon, who will take us back to London, 1908, where an enduring tradition was born. And we'll get better acquainted with a cyclist who prefers his sports honor roll to the injured reserve list. But first, our Olympic update.
NFL quarterback Warren Moon was among the 5,000-plus who came looking for clues to U.S. volleyball's prospects this summer. Also watching this American team closely is coach Terry Liskevych, who retires after the games. The opponent, the world's #1 team, Cuba, already up 3 games to 1 in the series. But fans in Houston saw a tight battle, thanks to the play of center court veteran Elena Oden. She contributed 20 kills and 4 blocks in Team USA's 3-1 victory at the Summit. Up in the stands, this proud pop was smiling too, because number 13 means nothing but good fortunes for the Americans. And there she is, daughter Tara Crossbattle, who delivered 24 kills and 3 service aces. TCB.
We got together and decided, hey, this is the last match. Even though we didn't accomplish our goal in winning the tour, we wanted to end with a win and end playing well, and everybody came through.
The third game, we really had 3 match points. We'd have won 3-0. And what really showed the character of this team is coming out in the 4th game and really staying tough and on top of it. We didn't let the momentum change. And everybody had a real good match. People played well. Tara Cross-Battle had a great hitting match. T had a great hitting match. And our setter, Laurie Endicott, was magnificent tonight. This is the way we've got to play and work as hard as we did tonight, and that gold medal will be ours. It's not going to be easy, but I think this group showed all the character that they have and all that team togetherness in a match like this tonight.
They are the best in women's basketball, and at this NBA game in Denver, national team members Ruthie Bolton and Nikki McCray scored big points at McNichols Arena with this pregame rendition of the anthem. And then it was off to China, where the Olympians-to-be kept their pre-Olympic record unblemished, sweeping to 8 straight wins. The victims this time, Cuba, South Korea, and the host team, China. When it was over, Team USA was 36-0.
U.S. soccer coach Bruce Arena adds 3 stars this June.
The thinking behind the overage players is it's really going to be based on what we see in the next 3 or 4 months, and decide that we need an overage goalkeeper, defender, forward, midfielder, whatever. And then looking at those overage players and players that the American public should be familiar with, such as an Alexi Lawless, a Claudio Reyna, a John Hawks, a Joe Maxmore, goalkeepers, Casey Keller, Brad Friedel, Tony Meola, etc. So there's a lot of players we can consider for those 3 spots. And it's really going to make sense once we see this team in a little better competition and more frequently on a daily basis before we make that final decision.
And before we go, a quick news digest as we see what's ahead for cycling. Road and time trials are coming up. Plus, rowing's lightweight division, new to the Olympics, and shooting are getting down to decision time. We'll be right back with a story sure to get your heart pounding.
Kodak presents The Road to U.S. Olympic Gold is brought to you by Kodak. the official imaging sponsor of the '96 Olympic Games. Kodak, now celebrating a century of excellence in Olympic photography. By Avon Products, proud sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. And by McDonald's, official break of the Olympic Games.
In their moment, for their time. Olympic athletes are the most photographed people on Earth. And for 100 years, more of those pictures have been captured on Kodak film than any other. Kodak, what film is in your camera?
I can make myself laugh. I was born liberated. I am older than I look. I am wiser than my years. I am still beautiful. I use a new perfecting complex. I see a younger looking me in 2 weeks. Who am I? Just another Avon lady.
They're here.
At this time, they ain't no underdog. That's right, they got rings. Cleveland's catching the fever. Tribe Fever. Join Jack Marshall, Ramona Robinson, and Kim Shanley live for an hour of excitement, followed by the first pitch from the Jake. Start off this season with a bang. Blast off is April 1st at high noon. Don't fool it. Only on the home of the Tribe, Channel 43, Cleveland's real sports leader.
Get ready.
Technology in Sports, brought to you by York Heating and Air Conditioning, proud sponsors of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
For competitive cyclists, the science of going fast usually starts in the sports medicine lab. This is a cardiopulmonary gas exchange test. Here's how it works. The athlete is put under a workload, in this case riding a bicycle trainer. Special apparatus measure the amounts of gases like oxygen that are breathed in and out, while electrodes chart the athlete's corresponding heart rate.
Your heart and cardiovascular system is an aerobic athlete, whether you're a cyclist or runner, that's your engine. And what this equipment does is it allows us to really check the engine and to get it to operate at maximum ability.
The test results are used to devise a training program that allows the cyclist to increase his cardiovascular efficiency. Then more of the oxygen he breathes can be used as fuel by the muscles so he can go faster on a bike with less fatigue.
It's good feedback, it's positive reinforcement, it's another thing to keep you motivated, and there are just many, many aspects that are really helpful.
The numbers from the lab test are plugged into a portable heart rate monitoring device that can be used on the bike in daily workouts. The monitor works like a tachometer in a car, measuring with scientific accuracy how hard the heart is working to take the guesswork out of training.
Unlike your car, where you really can't increase the strength of the engine, here we actually can strengthen our cardiovascular engine, and the data that we can get from things like heart rate monitors and cardiopulmonary exercise testing is show us where we need to improve.
Every workout can be downloaded onto the computer so the cyclist gets useful and precise scientific feedback about the efficiency of his cardiovascular system. Still, when the gun goes off, you're on the track alone. The computer's home watching. And welcome back. You know, a few shows back, we profiled cyclist Rebecca Twigg, who won a world title only weeks after surgery for a broken collarbone. Well, right now we're going to meet Rebecca's male equivalent in the rapid recovery department. He's Marty Nothstein.
Now it's time for Kodak's Olympic moment.
In 1994, Marty Nothstein became America's first male cyclist of the modern era to win not one, but 2 gold medals in a world championship. The timing of his triumph made it all the more remarkable.
I expected to win the world championships. When, we didn't know, and it did come unexpected because I was racing with a fractured heel, and you know, I was just racing hard and racing tough one day at a time, and soon enough I became world champion, not only once but twice.
Nothstein also managed to return to Worlds in 1995, just 3 weeks after suffering a painful knee injury. Convention says that's a miracle, but those who know him know this: nothing's conventional about Marty.
This year, 3 weeks before the World Championships, my rear wheel collapsed in a training accident, and the end result was a fractured right patella, which is your kneecap. And doctor told me there's no way you're going to make it to the World Championships and race, and nothing would have made me happier than to prove him wrong. We went down there and once again came back with the medal.
So that's 2 years in a row Nothstein has overcome circumstances that should have discouraged him from competing at all. It's no wonder coaches joke about throwing Nothstein from a building or letting a truck run over him. But just once, they'd love to see what Marty can do away from adversity's shadow.
When I'm healthy and uninjured, well, I don't want to say I'm unbeatable, but I'm awfully tough to beat because no one's unbeatable. But so we're going to make sure I come to Atlanta healthy, racing 100%, and you know, no one wants the Olympic gold medal more than me. I'm no longer world champion at the moment, and I want it back. You know, I want to keep it in America, and I feel I deserve it, and I'm going to train harder than I did last year to get it back.
A lot of confidence there. Cycling people think Nothstein is one of the reasons why the 1996 U.S. team might just match that powerhouse 1984 Olympic team. Be back in a minute.
Now work together
on the York team.
Introducing the York Triathlon, a new kind of natural gas heating and cooling system that lowers energy costs as it increases comfort. Gold medal performance for your home. York, proud sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
McDonald's presents future Olympic hopefuls, Carlos Tapia Ruano and his innovative soccer style. Uda Grunewald, whose backstroke could stun the world. The powerful Nozowitzki, weightlifting. Kelly Peterson, equestrian events. Bob Watson, rings. And Jacques Bouclet, a natural for discus. McDonald's is proud to sponsor today's U.S. Olympic team and to keep the dream alive for tomorrow's hopefuls.
When you're ready to buy new appliances, shop Sun for the biggest selection at the certified lowest prices every day. Nobody but Sun offers you more for less. From washers and dryers to small appliances, vacuum cleaners to refrigerator freezers, you can always trust Sun for the lowest prices on thousands of brand name appliances. Your savings center for home appliances and much more is Sun, where you know you pay less.
You know, a lot of men don't believe that you can still get a great suit for under $200. Although the Men's Warehouse is not a store where you can get a cheap suit cheap, we are very excited about our $200 suit. We offer for $199 a 100% wool suit, and we believe it's the best value in clothing you can get today. I guarantee it.
In Mayfield Heights, Akron, Fairlawn, North Olmsted, and Mentor.
Welcome back to the Road to U.S. Olympic gold. Irish Americans recently observed St. Patrick's Day, but few of those modern-day revelers may know how the pluck of the Irish gave birth to a U.S. Olympic tradition. It happened nearly 90 years ago in London, and our historian Bill O'Mallon explains. Bill, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Pat. Thank you. At the Olympic Games opening ceremonies, the national delegations are led by a flag bearer, usually an athlete who proudly displays that nation's colors before the world. The athletes march past a dignitary's box, which virtually always includes the host country's head of state. The flag bearers, as they march past the box, usually dip their flags, except for one, the United States. The tradition of not dipping the U.S. flag at the opening ceremonies began in 1908 at the London Olympics. The U.S. track and field athletes were led by a group of Irish immigrant weight throwers, shot putters, discus throwers, and hammer throwers, and these transplanted sons of the old sod had no love lost for the British. The night before the opening ceremonies, they lofted a few pints, and the weight throwers made a decision. They would not dip the American flag to the British king. The next day, the American flag bearer was a huge shot putter named Ralph Rose. Now, oddly enough, Rose was the only weight thrower of the group who was not Irish, but he held the flag aloft as he marched past King Edward VII. Later, discus thrower Martin Sheridan, who was born in County Mayo, Ireland, was interviewed, and he expressed the American view: this flag dips to no earthly king. So to this day, the tradition has been upheld. Ironically, during World War II, it became an American law that the U.S. flag should never be lowered. So when you're watching the opening ceremonies in Atlanta this summer, you can be sure the Stars and Stripes will fly high and proud.
Interesting tradition. When it comes to the red, white, and blue, USOC is serious, aren't they?
They really are. In 1968, Tommy Carlos and John Smith did the Black Power salute, and they were actually banned from the Olympic Games for life, both by the IOC and the USOC.
We had a recent incident here in the NBA where a player refused to stand for the national anthem because of his beliefs. Is there anything in the Olympic rules about something like this, a protest like this?
The Olympic rules are contained in the Olympic Charter and doesn't say anything about it. It just says there are ceremonies and that the host countries, or the victorious country's national anthem will be played.
Those feisty Irishmen, huh, Doc?
That's right.
Nice
Pat O'Brien, Bill O'Malley.
Nice to see you. Mary Lou?
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Bill. You gotta love those Irishmen. I ended up marrying one. Well, you know, some folks are just now making travel plans for the Atlanta Games. But one group is already rooted in the Georgia city, monitoring preparations in person. Our Brian Drebber reports.
This guide to the games is brought to you by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company.
With the Olympics months away, the Japanese broadcasting system, NHK, is already in town here in Atlanta, doing their best to head off any last-minute panic. Theirs is an unusually large operation, and there are many things to do, including the downright mundane.
Because we are, consortium of all Japanese broadcasters, we are going to have 900 members, staff here. So even just filling in the 900 accreditation forms, that is a hard work for us.
A site survey crew ran into a hitch. Safety rules forbid sneakers to be worn in a construction zone. Let's call this a variation on the Japanese tradition of removing shoes at the door. Once properly outfitted, the visit continued, checking out Olympic Stadium.
I'm looking for a camera platform, almost positioned as good for us, but some position are not good for us, suit for us. So maybe we have to negotiate it with host broadcast after this venue survey.
In addition to getting ready for their broadcast, this group also sends stories home to Japan.
Some athletes, prominent athletes, have been here for their own preparation, where to procure Japanese food, or where to stay, or where to train themselves. So we made fairly many stories about these athletes.
So, like our own NBC network, the broadcasters from Japan have their work cut out for them, and the clock is ticking. Reporting from Atlanta for Road to U.S. Olympic Gold, I'm Brian Drebber.
We'll be right back with more after this.
I can make myself laugh. I was born liberated. I am older than I look. I am wiser than my years. I am still beautiful. I use a new perfecting complex. I see a younger looking me in 2 weeks. Who am I? Just another Avon lady.
In their moment, for their time. Olympic athletes are the most photographed people on Earth. And for 100 years, more of those pictures have been captured on Kodak film than any other. Kodak. What film is in your camera?
Tim is challenged to a sled race.
Nice race down Dead Man's Curve.
Down what? Will Tim ever be the same?
I got such a pain in the joints. You shouldn't know.
On Home Improvement.
Monday at 7 on Channel 43.
On the next episode of Seinfeld. That is out there. What's wrong?
I think I swallowed a fly.
Monday at 7:30 on Channel 43.
It's time for our McDonald's Olympic trivia question. This Olympic sport was discontinued in 1920, but it's still very popular on the beaches today. Can you name it? You know, synchronized swimming really is a combination, I believe, of swimming and gymnastics. And believe me, folks, I've tried synchro swimming. It's a very, very difficult sport. You know, during all the years, she seemed hopelessly destined for B-team status. Synchro swimmer Becky Dyroen-Lancer never stopped believing she'd rise to the top. Now, with a veteran squad at her side, Becky is months away from completing a long but rewarding journey.
Avon salutes the woman inside the athlete, her strength, her beauty, and her ability to achieve her dreams.
They've been ranked #1 on the planet since 1991. Team USA is a 2-time defending world champion in synchro swimming and a clear favorite leading to the '96 games.
So the core group is really, really strong, and we've been swimming together for about 9 years as a national team, whereas a lot of the other national teams have been brought in from here and there, it's changing around. But this core group has been together for a long time. It's so exciting to be able to compete finally as the Olympic team.
Solo and duet events have been replaced by a team-only format, but that's no drawback to 9-year national team member Becky Dyroen-Lancer, the most decorated U.S. synchro swimmer. She's just delighted that her days as an underachiever are behind.
She was always on the B team, and always, if there was a competition between 2 girls, she would be put down and the other one would be put up.
That was hard on the parents, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. We'd say, Brennan, she's better than that. And she'd always be the one that didn't. Becky was always the one that didn't make it.
I was born with an atrial septal defect, and it was repaired when I was 5 years old. I remember not being able to play a lot, not being able to do a lot of things that the other kids were able to do. Now look at me.
Last year, Becky came home from Pan Am Games with solo, duet, and team gold medals. She repeated that feat at the '95 Nationals. There remains now only one void to fill.
I've been able to pretty much win all that I want to win, and yeah, all I have left is the gold medal at the Olympics.
In the pursuit of your dreams, Avon believes anything's possible.
The answer to our Olympic trivia question: this sport was discontinued back in 1920, but again is still very popular on the beaches. Can you name it? Tug of war. We're coming right back after this.
Have you tried multigrain Cheerios?
I did that multi-grain thing back in the 70s. I don't want to do it again.
Interesting.
Boring.
I like them.
Only 1 gram of fat. Yeah, not 1 ounce of flavor.
Very good.
A little sweet.
Crunchy.
4 kinds of O's.
Toasted with a touch of brown sugar.
Okay, but this will be like deja vu all over again.
It's nutritious, but surprisingly delicious.
Oh, yeah! It's a 90s kind of thing. I like it.
Let's visit the U.S. Olympic Spirit Store.
Debbie, talking about the nostalgia of these bears, I want to go back to 1968, Mexico City. You came on the scene, 3 goals. It had to be an incredible experience for you.
It's one that I have not yet realized, to tell you the truth. I just turned 16, and I got caught up in the whole thing. And I love to compete. I had so much fun when I was swimming that, you know, I'm not sure if I'll ever realize what happened, but, you know, talking about it and reminiscing with friends, that was what it's really about.
Well, Deb, thanks for taking us back, but now it's time to go forward. Let's take a look at this beautiful collectible